Thanks for everything for today, and hello to everyone. Not much more that I can think of to say, other than that I'm quite happy by here. Looking at all these lovely faces around here, including yours. Aye.
Good afternoon. This is a lovely afternoon to celebrate a great event.
That's the best way to line up now. Yes. Hello. Pleased to meet you. I'm the mayor.
Consul Honoraire de France.
Pleased to meet you.
Lovely to meet you too.
Matthias, Lord Lieutenant.
Very nice to meet you. Merci beaucoup.
Merci beaucoup. I've had 5 years of French in school.
Bonjour, enchanté. Renowned for the afternoon.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Leon.
Je m'appelle Marie.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Yes, very good. And I met a lady from Cardiff, Mrs. White, and she had served during the war in Amiens as well. And I was telling her, oh, you had a Christmas in Amiens much before me, and it's amazing. And she spent, I think, 1942, her Christmas was in Amiens.
Diolch yn y gesau, croeso. Mae'n pleser gweld gyd o chi wedi dod yma am y chlysur unigryw arbennig yma. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for coming along today. A very warm welcome to you all. You're all here for a very special event, unique possibly in my memory and possibly in many others. Today we have some distinguished guests who come here to honour Arthur and his history, his part in history. We have Mr. David Owens, the Mayor of Burry Port, and we have their councillors as well, John James and Amanda Fox. Welcome to you all. From the Navy, we have Lieutenant Commander Ruth Flemming and Chief Petty Officer Leon Matthias. In addition to that, the Lord Lieutenant today is represented by the Deputy, that's Mr. David Matthias, and he will have a letter in a moment directly from the Lord Lieutenant to read to you. Arthur has been a big part of Burry Port. I stand here as President of Burry Port, very proud of being asked by Robert and his family to be the Master of Ceremonies today. He's been a physio at the club. Robert himself is part of it. And I think if you go to a rugby club, if you go to communities around the area, you'll see people contributing to what is the Burry Port community. We can't live in society rent-free, and there's no better example of that than the way young men conducted themselves and young women conducted themselves during the wartime, gave and sacrificed so much to the country to make sure that we could enjoy the liberties, the freedoms, and the things that we enjoy doing day to day that sometimes we take for granted. Speaking to my wife last night, preparing for today, we discussed members of our family that have been involved in the 2 world wars, and it was surprising. Some 7 or 8 people that we were connected to very closely were in the war, and that proportionally, when you think across the country, that means thousands of people were affected years ago. My grandfather was wounded in the artillery in First World War, captured, and spent a year in a prisoner of war camp, and then had 3 sons, all of whom had to take part in the Second World War, and hopefully we learn lessons from that. Suzanne's family, she had a mother, 3 uncles, all of who went to war. 1 unfortunately did not return, 2 did. But I'm sure families across the country experienced that. I'm fascinated by wartime programs on TV, the History Channel and so forth, and we see the bravery people committed to, showed in those days, facing almost certain death, and yet going out there willing to play their part, is something that makes the hair stand on the back of my neck, and the immense pride I feel in knowing some of those people. It sends a sense of honour, of what we owe people just watching it on TV. When you see someone such as Arthur, a real life hero from that time, then that respect massively increases and makes you feel very humble indeed. Arthur himself was at D-Day, landing on the beaches. If you read the part of the history on the wall in the house there, he was blown onto a sandbank, had to try and machine gun enemy planes coming over. Having survived all of that and the terrors of that, you think they'd give them a break, but no. Out to the Far East, out and part of special forces, reconnaissance, looking to liberate British forces from Japanese prisoners of war camps. And he saw those two, I've put them into short headings there, but two massive events during the World War, and he was part of them. We owe a lot to people such as Arthur, and I can see it in your presence here today, the fact that you are respectful and feel that you need to show that commitment to him. I'm sure he will appreciate it. I mentioned earlier that we have the French ambassador, Marie Brousseau, here today to present the Legion d'Honneur to Arthur. That will take part in a few moments. But in honour of her presence here today, I'm going to ask that we stand for the French national anthem, and immediately after that, 1 minute silence, not only for those who passed away during the World Wars, but also recently in terrorist attack in both France and Britain. So, ladies and gentlemen, the French national anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, with Arthur's health as it is, he's unable to come out to us now, but the presentation will take place inside the house. But before we leave to return to the house, I'd like to invite Mr. David Matthias, the Deputy Lord Lieutenant, to read the letter from the Lord Lieutenant to Arthur to you all.
Thank you very much indeed. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's a tremendous privilege for me to be here today. I've got nothing to add to that wonderful tribute we've just heard. The Lord Lieutenant is absolutely delighted that I'm representing her today. She takes these events very, very personally indeed. And this is the letter that she has written directly to Mr. Perry, which I will read again shortly to him. Dear Mr. Perry, as Her Majesty's personal representative for the 3 counties that comprise the Lieutenancy of Dyfed, it is my very great pleasure to congratulate you on your recent honour and to thank you again for the very great service that you have given your country. I do hope that you will enjoy the ceremony and being awarded your honour, which is clearly so richly deserved. yours sincerely, Sarah Edwards, Her Majesty's Lord Lieutenant of Dyfed.
Thank you, David. I now invite the French Ambassador Marie Brousseau to join Arthur in the house to make the formal presentation.
Come to say hello. How do you do?
Oh, your hand's very cold.
It's a bit cold and wet outside. It's an honor to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Yes, I can see you have lots of people looking after you and preparing an amazing party for you.
I've been very good.
Yes. Promise?
Can we make some room, please, obviously, for these people? Just the one more here.
With the medal?
Yes, with the medal, please. I'm just trying to think of Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
If you don't mind, I'll put it on this side, okay?
Yes, okay.
Okay. Okay. So I am delighted to be your guest this afternoon in this beautiful house and the best decorated house in which I have ever presented a medal. So I'm very lucky today because I have been promoted several times. I'm not the French ambassador, but I represent her. I am an honorary consul here in Wales. So I'm delighted to be here this afternoon to represent France and to present you with this medal. Mr. Perry, this is exceptional award of the Knighthood of the Legion of Honor, which I am about to present to you, recognizes your participation in D-Day landing in Normandy and your contribution to the liberation of France during the Second World War. The whole of France thank you for your heroic actions leading to the liberation of our country and the defeat of barbarity and Nazism. Today, both our countries still stand together very closely, and in particular in the battle against terrorism. I would like to add my personal thanks to you, Mr. Perry, as I come from Picardy, which touches on Normandy, and my grandparents were the victims of the so-called occupation. Both my grandfathers were deported to Germany as forced labor. My grandmothers were woken up in the night to offload trains full of coal and without any time to put on shoes or coats on. So we thank you and all your comrades, as my parents and myself might have never existed.
Thank you.
We, of course, also think of all your comrades, and in particular those who gave their lives to liberate France. So from all of us, thank you. I will now present to you the medal, which will make you a Knight of the Legion of Honor by saying the official words in French, which means, in the name of the President of the Republic of France, you are made Knight of the Order of the Legion of Honor. So I want to say as well that this is the highest honor in France ever. It's a real knight, it's a real knighthood, and this award is normally given to former presidents and the likes. So it's a real recognition. So after these words, I will even give you a hug. It's part of the French tradition, and it is called une accolade. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Monsieur Arthur John Perry, au nom du président de la République française, nous vous faisons chevalier de l'ordre de la Légion d'honneur. And the hug.
Thank you very
The
much.
official hug.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. So, to conclude, dear Knight, dear friends, through this ceremony and honor, it is the whole of France, past, present, and future, which expresses its immense gratitude to the youth who some 70 years ago fought to liberate us. Congratulations, félicitations.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
And then I'll give you my camera as well.
Thank you very much indeed.
Can you take one with mine as well, please?
Yes. Well,
So I can say that.
I hope it works. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you all very much for coming.
Thank you for inviting us.
Thank you very much.
One more thing to do.
Yes. Oh yes, I do apologise. Yeah.
Well, Land Consul, ladies and gentlemen, Arthur Perry. It's my huge privilege to be here today representing the Lord Lieutenant of Dyfed, Sarah Edwards. She can't be here herself. She's asked me to represent her, and she's written this letter personally to you, Arthur. And I'm going to read it out now. Dear Mr. Perry, as Her Majesty's personal representative for the 3 counties that comprise the Lieutenancy of Dyfed, it is my very great pleasure to congratulate you on your recent honour and to thank you again for the very great service that you have given your country. I do hope that you will enjoy the ceremony and being awarded your honour, which is clearly so richly deserved. Yours sincerely, Sarah Edwards, Her Majesty's Lord Lieutenant of Dyfed. You'll be glad to know. And you'll be glad to know I'm not giving you a hug.
But I come.
Very much. On your beard.
Well done.
Arthur, well done once again.
That's all right.
That's your letter, by the way.
Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed. Thank you for the Royal Navy and the Lord Mayor and obviously the Lord Lieutenant and the French Consul. You've made a very special day for my family, and thank you I can't thank you enough. I can only apologise for the weather. It took some organising because it was similar to D-Day. So, you know, it's drained me, but thank you very much for coming. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you.
Big pleasure.
It's been a privilege.
Was it most of the war or just a few years? Or,
No, a couple of years.
a couple of years?
Yeah, I think I like to be sure, yeah. Cambria, so yeah, along with Mom, yeah.
I'm inclined to forget,
Tender unit, so satellite unit in Swansea.
which is all to remember. Like, you know.
I was saying, you know, being brought up in the south, I come from Amiens.
Yes.
Amiens. A lot of came after and really understand what's better for people are running bombs and have so many ammunition, live or not live, But they organised a really good party for you today. You must be very proud of your family.
I've heard a few stories of him about his exploits in Hong Kong.
Oh, did you serve in Hong Kong?
So did you see the letter
Actually,
before?
my daughter lives in Hong Kong.
I could have all my pictures in.
Yeah, so you tell me all about his exploits.
I'm sorry, we have mine.
Overseas, yeah.
And it's been low key and there's nothing, there might be something in Swansea, we haven't heard about it, and I'm a bit yeah, so for now, there's one advice, but what's more
Thank you all very much for coming on this special day. Personally, I'd like to thank the RRWs, which is Bill Evans and Mark Jones, representing the RRWs, to stand on guard for today's occasion, waiting for the French ambassador. Also, I'd like to thank the Royal Navy, Commander and Lieutenant, and the Warrant Officer. I'd like to thank the Lord Lieutenant himself, the Queen's representation, also my good friends. Also, I'd like to thank Kelly Granville, what a fantastic job she's done for the food, and for Mr. Ewan Jenkins, our President, who has done a fantastic job in the speech and made this day memorable. Most of all, I'd like to thank the French ambassador, who has turned up and made this day extremely special. It's been a very, very windy and wet day, but I don't think it's dampened any spirits. I'd like to thank Mr. Masterman on filming this, and first of all, I'd like to thank everybody for coming here. It's been a tough day, a very memorable day, jubilant day, sad day. My father is extremely ill and hopefully will live a little bit longer, but his health is deteriorating, and but he still managed to have a smile today for his presentation. My father is the most important person about today, and like we've had some new shocks apparently from his service record of what his actual job was, which surprised us all. But more importantly, I'd like to thank Gareth Gravel as well for all his help from Rugby Club, my second love, and all the people that's helped us out today. I was stressed out earlier on, but now it's time for whiskey. Thank you very much, all of you. Thank you.